Hey everyone, Fabian here, and this is my top 10 list of my dream cars. So number 10 is the Dodge Viper GTS. The Viper GTS was incarnated in 1996 and was in production until the year 2002. The Viper GTS contained the 8-litre V10 Mopar SR2 engine. This engine would go on to be used from 1996 to 2002 as mentioned beforehand, and then replaced with a 8.3 litre power plant for the Generation 3 Viper. The Viper name would be continued until 2017 when it was discontinued forever. When the Viper became its fourth incarnation in 2012, the engine displacement was increased up to 8.4 litres, and the ACR of that generation had 645 horsepower as opposed to the Gen 2 GTS, which only had 450. The Gen 2 GTS had a 6-speed Borg-Warner manual transmission which had a skip shift function. If you did not shift gears in first gear when you got up to 2000 RPM, it would shift to fourth gear in traffic. Number 9 is the Toyota Supra RZ. The Toyota Supra RZ has a 6-speed manual transmission mated to the oh-so-beloved 2JZ GTE 6-cylinder 3-litre engine. In recent years, this car has appreciated far out of my reach of price. But if the opportunity came up one day, then I would possibly be able to buy one. Not an RZ though, probably a non-turbo 5-speed manual, maybe a 4-speed auto, but maybe not. I'm not going to lie about this. The 2JZ GTE and GE, the non-turbo variant, do have a nice sound when you put a aftermarket exhaust on. The GTE is capable of 1000 horsepower on stock internals as well. You can push a little more if you want to by building the block and the head to be able to get up close to 2000 horsepower. But again, that takes more time and more money to be able to save, to be able to get the block and head machined and do all the extra bits that you need to do to get it to that spec. Number 8 is the Nissan Sylvia S15 Spec R. The S15 Spec R has the 4-cylinder SR20 DET motor. The SR20 DET is also capable of high boost, providing that you also build the block and the head for strength. Every day the S15 Spec R gets more and more desirable, as of course the power plant and it being a rear-wheel drive car with a 6-speed manual transmission. If I'm not mistaken, the S15 generation has VCT in the SR20 DET or DE. That is Nissan's variable cam timing system, which is like variable valve lift but with the cams. Personally, I would try to do a VE head swap so I can get that VTEC-esque pull. Number 7 is the Mazda AutoZam AZ1. The Mazda AutoZam AZ1 has a 3-cylinder turbo engine derived from the Suzuki Cappuccino. This engine can rev out to 9,500 RPM, which is almost motorbike territory. I may be crazy for wanting one of these, but I like the novelty of having a K car in New Zealand, especially if I want to go to Auckland or Wellington, where small cars are preferred, since there are small, thin streets that you have to drive through. The AZ1 has gull-wing doors derived from the Mercedes 300 SL, which started the trend of the gull-wing door in 1954. If I had the chance, I would buy one in a heartbeat. I am around 6 feet tall, and I'm about that wide too, so I don't know if I'll be able to fit. I mean, I've had an MX-5, but we'll find out if I buy one. Number 6 is the Nissan C33 Laurel. The C33 Laurel came with the choice of a few engines. These engines are the CA18i 1.8 litre 4-cylinder, the RB20 DET turbo 2-litre 6-cylinder, the RB20DE non-turbo 2-litre 6-cylinder, the RB20E 2-litre single-cam 6-cylinder engine, the RB25DE non-turbo 2.5-litre 6-cylinder engine, and the RD28 2.8-litre diesel 6-cylinder engine. If it were me personally to buy this car, I would either go for the RB20 DET 2-litre 6-cylinder or the RD28 diesel 6-cylinder. This car is also getting more and more desirable every single day, just like the Sylvia S15. The most common reason why this car is getting more desirable is because of a thing called RB tax. This means Nissan cars with RB engines are getting more and more pricey every single day. Because the RB motor is a very, very, very desirable motor for drifting and power tuning. I had a Nissan Stagia that I bought for $1,200. Today it will be worth $3,000 just because of the RB25 that was in it. But if I had the chance to buy a Laurel, I would, but only with the RB20 DET or the RD28 diesel. All in all, a great car. Number 5 is the Mark III Ford Focus RS. The Mark III Focus RS has a 2.3-litre EcoBoost engine made by Ford, which was also used in the current generation Mustang. The 2.3-litre EcoBoost motor has 350 horsepower, which is very good, and the Focus RS itself has a 6-speed manual with an all-wheel drive system. That is actually very capable to be used on a rally stage. The Mark III Focus RS was introduced to us in 2016 but was sadly discontinued in 2019 when Ford chopped most of their cars from their car lineup. The Mark III Focus RS also has a high retail price of over $40,000, which is something that is still of dream quality for me. But once again, if I had the chance, I will buy one. If I had the chance. Number 4 is the Subaru WRX STI. The WRX STI has the 2-litre EJ20 boxer 4-cylinder motor. The EJ20 Boxer 4 is known for reliability issues, but the thing is, with these engines you have to keep on top of their services and all of the maintenance. This is why people blow up their EJ20s all the time, is because they do not look after them, and that's what brings my piss to a boil, is when people say, oh, Subarus aren't reliable. Well, they are. And I am a bit biased because I own a Subaru myself. You just need to keep on top of your maintenance, like any car. Maintenance aside, these cars are very good cars and they are rally legends, of course, being the WRX, the World Rally Experimental. The WRX STI has a 6-speed manual transmission which is mated to a all-wheel drive system derived from the rally car itself. To get these cars to rally spec, you probably have to do a few mods so it is bearable to drive on a rough surface. Like any car that you turn into a rally car, there are always going to be modifications. Once again, if I had the chance to buy one of these, I would. It would be a good looking car to just sit there, have a look at, and take it for a drive on the weekend. Number 3 is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4. The Evo 4 has the 4G63 2-litre 4-cylinder engine with Mitsubishi's own TD04 turbo. The Evo 4 has a 5-speed manual transmission that is mated to a all-wheel drive system just like the WRX STI. The Evolution is also a World Rally legend that was used in the 1996 World Rally Championship, before it was replaced by the Evo 5 in 1998. The 4G63 is also known for massive power gains, just like the SR20 DET, because from the factory you can build it up to 500 horsepower before the stock internals will blow. But once you once again build the block in the head to be able to get more horsepower. You can push up to 1000 horsepower. Sadly, you will have to rebuild the transmission or make that stronger because the Evo's transmissions are made of glass, I'm afraid to say. One wrong move, push it too hard, your trans is gone. So, what are you going to do? But like I say, if I had the chance to buy an Evo 4, possibly an Evo 5, but mainly an Evo 4, I would definitely go for it. Number 2 is the Mitsubishi FTO GPX. The Mitsubishi FTO GPX has the 2-litre V6 6A12 Myvic, which is very similar to Honda's VTEC. Basically, it is the same in concept, variable valve timing, all that sort of shebang, but you know, kind of like the Honda J Series, but the J Series is a 3-litre. And the J Series is a single overhead cam, whereas the 6A12 is a double overhead cam. I had the pleasure of driving one of these myself, at least, up in Auckland, and I felt that this car was one of the best cars I had ever driven. Very close to the MX-5 in fact. Even though the FTO is a front-wheel drive car, it is very good handling and speed. It has about 197 horsepower, close to 200 horsepower, as opposed to the MX-5 where it only has 110. Or 115 depending what motor you have. The cool thing about these cars is that they are very attainable as of now, but as soon as I start working more and more, I will probably find that the prices of these cars will go up and up and up. This is the car that I plan to buy once I have the money. In the FTO you have a choice of 3 types of transmission: a 4-speed auto, a 5-speed auto, or a 5-speed manual. The automatics in these cars are very similar to Porsche's system of remembering when you have shifted in the Tiptronic mode. Then the ECU adapts to how many revs you would like when you are driving the car in drive mode. Personally, I think this is a cool idea, but I am a manual driver myself. I prefer to drive manual over automatic, so myself, I will find a manual car to buy. This is one of the best cars I have ever driven, like I have said before. I will definitely buy one of these once I have the money. Drum roll for number 1, please. The Nissan Skyline R32 GTS or GTS-T. This is a given. The R32 Skyline is my most favourite car of all time. Of course, the same thing as Laurel, the RB Tax. This specific example here is for sale in New Zealand for $18,000. Way back when my mum used to own one in 2003, she bought that for $3,000. What the hell happened? Obviously the R32 Skyline is a very desirable car, considering how it looks, how it drives, and of course the RB engine, once again. This specific GTS is a RB20DE 5-speed manual non-turbo, with 140,000 Ks on it. Considering the amount of Ks, it is so good for the price. Especially because of today's current climate, because of the coronavirus, where all used cars prices have shot up. This is my number 1 dream car. When I buy it, I hope it's not one of those situations where it is, do not meet your heroes. I have driven a Skyline before, but it was a 20E R33. At least it was a manual, but it was on lowered springs and it didn't feel right to drive, but at least I had the experience of driving a Skyline before. One day I will get my hands on one of these. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe for more content coming your way. See you later.